I guess we got to talk a little bit because talking about trailers getting ratioed, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power.
Yes.
Isn't it funny? Do you remember, Jeremy, when Rings of Power first came out? One, there was promos all over for it.
Yes.
8 months before it came out, they put out the teaser trailer, and you had the cast and crew out there doing things. They had the fake fans. And then even while it was ongoing, while it was getting blasted, while it was getting beat in the ratings by something like House of the Dragon, which not only had streaming, but also on top of that, not even added into those ratings, they had the linear broadcast on HBO at the same time. But Amazon tried to gaslight everybody into thinking that Rings of Power was just like this massive, massive global phenomenon success. Not because they showed us any proof, but because they put out a press release saying that it was just a huge success. And then people found out kind of what actually was going on. In addition to the fact that it was getting beaten in the ratings by House of the Dragon, it also, as it turned out, people didn't actually finish this show that they started watching. Only 37% of people actually finished this piece of shit for season 1. Just as an aside, usually if a show has less than a 50% completion rate, that's grounds for immediate cancellation, like by the studio, by the streamer, whatever it may be. Not the case with Rings of Power because season 2 is coming. They've been pretty quiet about it until now, and I think we know why. Look at this fucking reaction. On its way to 500,000 dislikes for Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power on Amazon Prime. And one of the most ridiculous aspects, I think, is the wig. And everyone's making fun of the wig. It's not just the wig. It's the fact that Sauron, who's supposed to be a shapeshifter, he's appearing in his Anatar form. He's tricking the elves into thinking he's someone else. He literally is. He's played by the same fucking actor who played Halbrand, who revealed he was Sauron in the first one. He's just wearing a wig and has pointy ears now. How retarded are the elves? They deserve everything that's coming to them if they don't recognize he's the same person. And that's why the trailer is getting memed on. But they were all of them deceived. For another wig was made. One wig to rule them all. One wig to hide them. One wig to fool them all. And now they cannot find him. But Sauron has not yet revealed his deadliest servant, the Wig King of Angmar. Like, what the fuck? And this is the reason to me why they waited so long and held on to this and didn't even put out a teaser until 3 months prior. And we've heard so much less from the cast and crew. They know the writing's on the wall for this thing. Like they knew there was probably going to be backlash and wanted to minimize it. But holy fuck. This tricked them. That's all it took. Dude, one bad wig.
It's so fucking bad. Yeah, I mean, Rings of Power season 2. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I have not watched this trailer. I've seen the memes though, because I just have zero interest in this fucking show in any capacity. But yeah, I've seen the memes. The memes have been glorious. I heard you guys were talking about it on an open bar. You guys were talking about the Rings of Power trailer, and somebody said like they tried to not make any like obvious memeable moments in the trailer, yet the internet has just continued to just fucking meme the fuck out of it. Like they didn't try to reveal anything over the top or anything in the trailer. Somebody said that on open bar.
Yeah, they tried it. It was like very minimal. There was nothing to hit what this season's actually about other than Sauron, you know? But we found a way. Because this is a terrible show that people hate, that disrespects the lore. So when that's the case, people are going to find things to make fun of. And when you lay it out on full display, when you decide to leave the same person who played Sauron in the first one, and you bring him back to play the character, but no one fucking recognizes him somehow, yeah, you're going to get called out.
It's unbelievable, man. This is going to be this is probably going to be even worse than season 1 in terms of just quality, which says a lot. But I think this is going to be worse than season 1. But again, you're talking about Lord of the Rings, the most celebrated movies ever created. I mean, I think they're the greatest movies ever made. And so you're talking about a very, very high standard, obviously. And they're giving us this dog shit with the massive budget. What was the budget per episode for the first season?
It's still under wraps. So for the first season, it's the first 2 seasons, it's estimated that $1 billion was the cost. like combined. And that's before they actually did production. That's how much they had like set aside between the rights and then actual production. And since then, not only did they end up moving away from the original set, moving to a different country, having to rebuild a bunch of shit, they had a fire, they had production problems, they had delays. Who knows what it's ballooned to at this point? But it's the most expensive series in history by a long shot. You're probably talking about somewhere in the at least $50 million plus an episode.
Jeez, man, that is unbelievable. And they're just going to keep dumping money into it and keep losing money. And then you know whose fault it's going to be when it loses all of its money? It's going to be those toxic fans, those toxic white men. That's right.